Hey everybody, I got some interesting news for you guys. Sit down, get ready. Rox is Blackbeard's dad. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain why I believe Blackbeard is Rox's son and how Rox is affecting the current timeline. Now, the hot topic of the week has been the Rox pirates. And in the manga chapter 957, we get a flashback detailing information of a battle that took place between the Rox, which consisted of Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Shiki, and their mysterious leader, Rox, who was a D, and their opponents, Garp and Goldie Roger. As Sengoku is telling the story of this battle that had taken place, he has a line that goes, "The inexorable advance of evil, nearly unstoppable, had been halted that day." That gave me chills when I watched it, or when I read it. It was fantastic to hear. You see Garp, you see Roger, and you see them fighting, and it's great. So as that goes, I'd assume Rox lost his life in that battle, but we're not sure yet. But I also think not before setting his next plan into action, and that plan was Blackbeard. Which, not too far off, Roger set the same plan into action with Ace. Seems like they both had the same idea. Now let's begin why I think Rox is Blackbeard's dad. To begin, Rox was a D, and based on his accomplishments, it looks as if he had evil motives for taking over the world. In the last chapter, or in the latest chapter, the battle between him, Garp, and Roger seemed to be to protect the celestial dragons. And I see that as an important clue because he must have been close to, or had a few things. The knowledge of Raftel, the ancient weapons, knowledge of the will of D, or the ancient kingdom. And the moral driving duo of Garp and Roger saw him to be unfit to change the world, as it would cause utter obliteration. And I know as the story's been going, we see as more of this knowledge, it would shake up the world. That's what they keep saying, it will shake up the world. And I think that knowledge that he had would have done that and would have destroyed the celestial dragons, but they found him unfit and that he would just turn the world to complete chaos. Now, Blackbeard's motives are eerily similar to Rox in that it was a dark will planning the future. Then I'll add, in this battle in God Valley that happened 38 years ago, what's Blackbeard's age? 40. Perfect time frame for Rox to have a kid, set a plan in motion in case he needs to depend on someone else to fulfill his will of D. I will add that there are small amounts of D's in the story, so a correlation this close is too closely connected. If we examine more details, we find Blackbeard's ship is Saber of Xebec, and then Rox's full name is Rox D. Xebec. Interesting. Almost as if Blackbeard is saying he will be the sword that will carry out Xebec's will. Now, Xebec's will, what is that? What do we think that is? Now let's talk about Rox's will and how he sets his plan into motion. There are a few theories as to the method, and some are odd, but I believe Rox had to manipulate Blackbeard's body in some way, or new information, or a power to give Blackbeard the ability to multiple devil fruits. Some say originally Blackbeard was a triplet, but with the work of Vegapunk, he was able to combine them, which Vegapunk is renowned for his work in devil fruit, Kiraseki Stone, and the Pacifista Project, which are in line with Blackbeard, right? The Pacifistas are able to use the light fruit, which, is in complete opposition to the Yami fruit. Now, others speculate that he absorbed his twins in the womb, and thus he's able to use 3 devil fruits. I personally believe he has multiple personalities, and since he changes completely, it allows him to access, but I'm unsure about that. It could also be as simple as the Yami powers itself are what's giving him the ability to absorb other fruits. The last theory is that he has the power of Uranus, but we won't know until we see that at play. You wonder why I'm telling you all this? I think this is Rox's grand master plan, and I and most other people believe that Blackbeard will obtain 1 more devil fruit, as his Jolly Roger has 3 heads. And it will most likely be a Zoan type, as he has a Logia and a Paramecia already in his grasp. Now, Rox most likely had an idea of Blackbeard's future, or the powers, or how to obtain these powers, so he left it all in journals and information for Blackbeard to follow to gain this power. Now, as we go through the story, before the story starts, we get little information of Blackbeard's past, except the picture Oda drew of his childhood, which was the sad one that showed him sitting with a beaten face, crying in the snow. Some are speculating that the snow was indicative of him being where Vegapunk is, because the island that Frankie ended up on after their fight with Kuma was the snow island that Vegapunk had his lab at. That's a light correlation, but nonetheless, Blackbeard grew up, and once ready, he set his dad's plan into action. First by joining Whitebeard's crew to higher his chances to find the Yami Yami fruit, which he ended up finding. We also see that he had a skirmish between himself and Shanks, which I think was Shanks checking out to see if Teach was the D Roger was looking for, but Teach attacked Shanks, maybe because Shanks was on Roger's crew. We'll have to find out. Now, as the story progresses, we see how Blackbeard is the story's main antagonist. If you want further information of that, I go into a full description on Blackbeard, him and being the antagonist to Luffy throughout the whole story, how that correlates, and what his plans for the future are. I'll leave the link in that video down in the description below. But as I keep going, we see in the past, we understand that Roger and Rox were probably rivals, so much that they led their Will of D to feed into their children. And we even get that face-off between those two children, Ace and Blackbeard. But if we remember, the battle at the God's Valley had one more, Garp, and his grandson is a D. Now I think Roger's will was put into trust towards Garp, and therefore put into Luffy instead of Ace. And you kind of get this really big send-off when Ace dies at Marine Ford, and I think it just kind of shows that Luffy comes into the picture and goes off against Whitebeard or Blackbeard to inherit that Will of D and be the main protagonist that Roger was looking for. Now, Sengoku's retelling of this battle is the remembrance of the old, Rock versus Roger. And as he's looking at it in the present, he sees the new, Luffy versus Blackbeard. Now, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you guys want me to go in more depth of some other topics of where further information of Blackbeard being Rocks's son and how that will correlate into the future, I do describe a lot of that and why I think Blackbeard will be the final villain in One Piece. Again, I'll leave that in the description below. But if you guys have any information, leave a comment down below. If you guys want to support the channel and help me make more videos and better videos, head over to patreon.com/animegogowatcher, and later.